electronics from the most extreme wrestling, and this is your AEW Dynamite review for September 9th, 2020, coming off the heels of All Out, and we start off the show with a oddly placed comedy segment. You have the parking lot. You have Tony Schiavone and Chris Jericho and MJF. They pull up at the exact same time, both in black SUVs for some reason, and come out at the same time and say the same thing. Then Jericho says that, well, he's going to get a AEW championship opportunity at some point, which maybe not the way things are going with him. And MJF, He wants to get a title shot in the future as well. MJF is upset at Jericho. Well, upset at the fact, not at Jericho necessarily, but upset at the fact that he has lost. Him being a legend of his status, he's lost twice to Orange Cassidy. And then they both walk away, split screen at the same time, walking away from each other, and in unison say, what a loser. So the whole spot played for comedic purposes. I could have done without this, but they decided it was better to start with that than starting right out the gate with their next match, with no entrances, by the way. The entrances were cut, so hope you enjoyed that promo in its place. It's the Lucha Bros with Eddie Kingston and Butcher and Blade taking on Jurassic Express of Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. So this is becoming a familiar sight, seeing Jurassic Express in these type of matches that don't really seem to further their career whatsoever. I mean, they have cool moves and everything. We saw Jungle Boy take a slip and a fall trying to jump on somebody's back. Trying to do some of that double team action, which that kind of sucks. The Lucha Bros actually get beaten. You have Jungle Boy get the pin, and the Lucha Bros are upset at each other. So it's not like it was that devastating of a win. I mean, the Lucha Brothers, they seem to be pretty cohesive. They're brothers. They're always together. They seem to always get along, always be on exactly the same page on every single move. And they got beat by Jurassic Express. Maybe they were embarrassed because they're so low on the rankings. I don't understand why they got so mad at each other, but they did, to the point where Eddie Kingston and his jorts, this is probably the look John Cena was going for but did not achieve. Eddie Kingston is acting like the father figure here and is like, hey man, you guys, you gotta shake hands. You gotta shake hands. He's demanding they shake hands. It looks like they're gonna break up the Lucha Bros, which makes absolutely no sense. Who in their right mind is thinking, oh yeah, this is imminent. It could happen at any time. It's so volatile. No. That's what we're doing with Omega and Hangman Page. Why they felt necessary to interject some possible team breaking up, I'm not really sure. Maybe just for the sake of drama. Then they shake hands. Eddie Kingston also reminds us before we go that he was not eliminated from that Casino Battle Royal. So does that mean he's going to get a match? Does that mean that he's going to get some kind of opportunity in the future? I don't think so. I don't think that's the way it works. Look, once the bell rings, you don't really have much of a case. I don't even remember what he was doing at that show. As far as why he was not eliminated, did he just leave? I can't even remember, and that was only days ago. But hey, that's just the way it goes. Sometimes, hey, if it's not impactful, I'm not going to remember it. And they can't expect their average audience to remember something like that from the pay-per-view without explicitly explaining it, which they did not. Okay, we get a video outside. It looks like it's raining. I thought it was CGI at first, but I really couldn't tell, so I wouldn't put it past AEW for CGI rain. They've done similar things in the past, so but it looked realistic enough that I don't really give a crap. You got Jake Roberts and his boy Lance Archer. Jake, he looks like he needs to wear an undershirt, and he's letting everybody know that they're going to get wet. and that you're going to pee your pants. So, yeah, some wet-ass pants. Man, I can't believe I went there, but I did. I'm so ashamed of myself. These jokes are so old. Wireless access points, the WAP. You know what I'm talking about. If you don't, you're just lucky. Okay. Anyways, not even gonna get into Cardi B. I mean, I do like her music. But Lance Archer, he's sick of how long Moxley has had the title of the AEW title. And you know what? I really liked his promo. The way he did his delivery, the way he, his vibe, it just was on point. Normally, I get irritated at him just throwing guys around and just beating them up for the sake of beating them up. It just doesn't do much for me. But this promo, it really showed me that he looked like a killer, that he looked dangerous, like he could, we could get in the ring with the champion, somebody like Moxley, somebody who is a little bit unhinged, unpredictable, and such, and actually do some damage. So I'm down with it. Now we have Matt Hardy, which JR kept calling the Eye of Controversy. Matt Hardy puts on a political smile as he comes down. You know, he does all his signature poses and, you know, does all the stuff. To let, hey everybody, remember how much you like me? Hey guys, you're not mad at me, are you? Which, you know, people don't really have a reason to be upset with him unless, I guess, he was the one that decided in a concussed state to continue the match, which surely that was not the case. But if anybody was thinking that, yeah, he put on a good face for you. He wants to let everybody know that he's 1,000% okay, if that's mathematically possible, which it's not. But you get the idea. He says he knows a lot of people were frightened, which they were, after a myriad of tests. So there was several tests. There was a lot of tests, apparently. He's expected to make a full recovery. So my question would be, what do you mean full recovery? If you come out of the doctor's office and they say that you're good, that you don't have a concussion, what exactly does that mean? How do you recover your brain? I don't understand that. We're going to make the easy assumption that he's talking about a brain type injury and nothing else. So I don't know what that means. The fans are behind him, of course, you know, and you can tell on his face that he was receptive to that. He was like, oh man, I'm glad people aren't angry. I'm glad that people, you know, understand and they're on my, you know, people are chanting for Hardy here at this point. His wife is in the crowd, which I imagine she wasn't making too many friends backstage. I wouldn't even be surprised if she didn't even go backstage, honestly, because she was pretty steamy on Twitter about this whole situation, and even contradicting what Tony Khan was posting about, you know, everything's A-okay, no concussion. And she was like, not true. So who's right, who's wrong? She's been kind of crazy in the past, so I wouldn't put it past her to be incorrect about something. But I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. I mean, I don't know. I'm just... who's right? I haven't seen the medical report. But then he says he wants to get healthy and then go after the AEW Championship, which the fans didn't react, and I could see a little bit of a in his face. Like, oh, yeah. You know, that would suck. I would not be surprised if Matt Hardy does not get the opportunity for the AEW Championship. I mean, he's on up in his career, and he never got the WWE title. I mean, sure, he got the ECW title. He got the TNA Championship, but yes, a lot of people will argue that he is not on that level, and with his age and where he's at, and especially after this questionable injury, who knows? Who knows what's in store for him? I hope he can have that opportunity. He has definitely earned a top spot like that, I would assume. But maybe it's just not the right place and the right time. And I think fans were probably thinking that, and that's probably one of the reasons why people weren't like, yes, this is what we want. We want Matt Hardy as a champion. That was not the sentiment. So, yeah, it's pretty telling. Okay. I thought my microphone fell off, but it's still attached. Okay. It's Orange Cassidy versus Ellen. Oh my God. Angelico? I know this man's name. It's Angelico. Okay. He has no facial expressions during the entire match. You can't tell if he's mad, hurt, happy. I have no idea. He's got to fix that. That is not okay. I mean, I could have probably counted on one hand the amount of times I saw his facial expression change. It was just like the whole time. What is that, man? Are you serious? You're on national television, bro. Okay, Orange Cassidy gets the pin. Angelico's partner, Jack Evans, he gets in Orange's face, and Santana and Ortiz, they come down, they seize this opportunity and attack. Now, Chuck Taylor, or as I like to call him, Dollar Tree AJ Styles, calls out Santana and Ortiz. He calls them ding dong. So yeah, we're keeping this serious. My goodness. And Trent is tan. He's angry, and he wants to make his mama proud. So next week they will be having a parking lot brawl, and they have a big hug. So makes sense. Parking lot, van. Will they have a new van? Will they be made to pay for their mom's van? Will their mom drop them off for this big parking lot just brawl that she should be terrified to be around with all these dangerous people and these all this equipment and the weapon and the blood that's probably going to happen? I don't know. Marvez, he knocks on the doors of the Young Bucks. He wants to talk to them, and they're not coming out. They're not coming out of the room, man. We're not coming out. Yeah, and then Marvez, he's standing there. The door opens. He gets super kicked. And then the Bucks close the door like a bunch of bratty teenagers. They're all like, and they close the door. So I don't know. I don't think that they were trying to be funny. I think it just unintentionally came off that way. Kip Sabian is here to let us know who the best man is, and if you didn't watch the pay-per-view, you wouldn't even know what I'm talking about, which is just mind-blowing. At the pay-per-view, Kip Sabian said that he's now engaged, and he's going to find the best man on Dynamite. So, great way to build. My goodness. So, Kip Sabian is here. Tony Schiavone's going to interview him, but he kicks Tony out of the ring, and he actually, from here, cuts one of the better promos of the whole show. I was kind of shocked. And he calls out his best man, and it's Puff Puff. I don't know. Some Twitch subscriber comes down, and he says, "No, I was just saying, you're the best man. Like you're the best for subscribing." And I was like, "So wait, there's fans backstage. They can come out through the entranceway. Why didn't they just come out of the crowd? Would that have just set a bad precedent? Like, oh, you can't have fans just acknowledging and coming into the ring?" My goodness. It's just, why would you do it like that? Other than that, it was great, I'm telling you. He calls out the best man, all right? So you got this guy, Brian Pillman Jr., he comes down, he's like, "Man, I got your text." And then he explains, Kip Sabian explains that, "No, I was saying you're the best, man." And he's like, "Quit stalking me, essentially. We're not friends." And Brian Pillman's like, "What? We're not friends? I didn't know." And he's sad. So one last time, who is the best man? And then poof, it's the best man. It's Rusev, but here in AEW he's called Miro because that's what he's called on Twitch. So another dig at WWE and their BS because Vince McMahon wants to get his hand in all the monies. He thinks that maybe he can get like a package deal where he can be like, "All right, well, I'm going to send you 20 of my superstars and they'll be on your Twitch internet thing and we'll get a cut." I don't know if that's his exact plan, but I know Vince McMahon, how he thinks. He thinks money. He's a businessman. He only cares about the cash. And if it's going to cut into his cash flow in any ways, well, I mean, that doesn't really cut into his cash flow, but he sees people making money and it's not him, and he's wondering, why am I not being the one getting paid? Which is how I feel a lot of times. Why am I not getting the cash? How do I get the money? All right, so now we have him cutting a promo, and yes, he says he spent 10 years in that other company. He was reaching for the brass ring. Well, now you can take that brass ring and shove it right up your butt. Oh, yes. And that's what Miro, he has come to say. And yeah, that was great. I really liked it. You couldn't really... Yeah, okay. Skipping too far ahead. So that was a good promo with Miro. I really liked it. The intensity, it actually, it was pretty classic. I feel like this is going to be one of those lines that they're like, oh, what the big superstar, whatever, coming from WWE. It's a big deal. And he's basically shooting on WWE for their asinine ways. And that's good. That's what people want to hear. It was real and it was authentic. I don't know why he's got the bleached hair now. I don't really like that. But other than that, man, this thing was great. So, yes. Okay. Now we have Adam Page. And here is where I was bleeding into another segment on my notes. So, Adam Page, he's in a hotel room, but it's lit up, so who cares? It's television. All right, he says that during his match, he couldn't hear the crowd. He admits that so many things were his fault. It was the toughest test, but he wants to get the tag team back in order. I thought Kenny Omega was done and outs. You know, at the pay-per-view, he was all like, I lost, I'm out of here. Hey, Young Bucks, you want to come with me? And they were all like, nah, bro, we don't even know why you're mad. I mean, I know you lost the title and all, but why are you acting like this, bro? So, yeah, I like that. It was a good promo. I believed Adam Page, and I'm into that story, as crazy as that seems. But it's more to do with Adam Page, and eventually he's going to break out singles, and man, he's going to be hot and ready. It's going to be good. Hot and ready, ready to serve. It's going to be just like that. Okay, now we got Jericho and Hager taking on Janela and Sonny in a no disqualification match. I don't even remember why this is a no DQ match, but it is. I think that Jericho likes wrestling Janela because it makes him feel like a freaking Adonis. Yeah, I believe that is the case. We got Janela. He goes out and gets a chair and shows it to the empty seats. He's like, you see this? This is your fate. You empty chairs, I'm going to beat all of you. I didn't understand. There's no fans out there. Who is he taunting to? But he was taunting. No chair is safe when you got Sonny Kiss on the case. All right, but he loses it to Jericho, Janela. Oh my goodness, you got Kiss. He's defending himself with a trash can. With trash! With a trash can, with an aluminum trash can. Well, those things aren't even aluminum. They're like some kind of weird metal. Aluminum would cost too much. These commentators need to learn their metals. Just because it's shiny does not mean it's aluminum. And just because it's heavy doesn't mean it's solid steel. I don't know, these things bother me. I used to work with metal a lot back in the day, but no longer. But the memory remains. Okay, Sonny Kiss gets a big body dive outside. Sonny goes for a dive inside to Jake Hager, but Jake Hager catches him and nails him, and Hager wins. And there was like, when he pinned him, Hager kind of covered his face up a little bit. And I think, I don't know, I should listen with headphones, but I think he probably gave him some good words there, because honestly, Sonny Kiss looked like a star in this match. He looked like he was handling it. He looked like he belonged. He looked great. So, man, Sonny Kiss he surprised me here. Jericho is mad about his ring gear getting soiled, because it soiled it. So after the match, he complains about that and his stinky boots and breeches and all that. So Jake and Jericho are going to be tag team champions apparently. And I'm like, well, what about Santana and Ortiz? Are you just like, forget those guys? I don't really understand that. And also at the beginning of the show, you were talking about getting the AEW championship. So what was the point of the opening segment with MJF? I don't understand. Let's find out from MJF. He's got a promo backstage. He's got his people. His political speech is going on. But then that ends with everyone getting fired, and even Nina gets kicked out. She tries to be a lingerer. She tries to stay on. So getting rid of the fact, getting rid of the stuff that wasn't really working in the first place, and you no longer need it for what you're doing. You don't have the lawyer. You already had your match. The campaign didn't work. You got to start over. And this promo was awesome. You have MJF. He pops off when Wardlow calls him sir. He's like, why are you calling me sir? You know, you messed up, and, you know, don't try to stand up to me. Don't try to buck up to me. I know he's trying to fight him or whatever, but MJF is the one that pays his checks, and he lets Wardlow know in a very stern way that they're going to get back on track, and they're going to get back to the top. So, man, congratulations, MJF, you did it on the microphone. You're transitioning from just being in a championship match to trying to stay relevant and trying to do stuff. Now, I'm not saying he wouldn't be relevant if he hadn't cut this promo, but he is cementing his place at the top. He's going to be there eventually. He's going to get there. And he consistently, even in this show where he doesn't really have anything really to do, he could have just had a so-so promo, but he didn't. Instead, he killed it. Unfortunately, next we got Jon Moxley, who is the AEW champion, in a narrow hallway. You're going to have the champion of your company in a narrow hallway. What does a narrow hallway tell you? It doesn't. I'll tell you what it tells. It tells you that, why are you in this tiny little room? Why are you in this tiny hallway? Why aren't you in something bigger? Last week you were in front of the most expensive car that we've seen in AEW, and you're just like, oh yeah, I'm so cool, I got all my money. And now you're in this the tiniest place ever. It's like all the other places were taken. You couldn't be in a big open area. Is this supposed to be some kind of weird joke? Because people have made fun of him for cutting promos and in front of parking lots and in front of pallets and this, that, and the other. So now he's going to be like, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll get in the tiniest crack that I can and cut a promo. I mean, well, I was going to say cut a promo under underpass, but I'm pretty sure he's done that. But he lets everybody know he's unstoppable. Dude, you know, I don't want to crap on Jon Moxley, but this promo was not that interesting. And it's like, all these other people were cutting interesting promo, and he's like, you know what? I'm unstoppable, and I got my championship, and that means I beat people. Yeah, so what are you going to do about that? Huh? Like, no, dude. No, I don't care about that. That thing you just did, I don't like that. I don't care. He didn't tell me anything. MJF got rid of his whole cabinet. He reasserted himself trying to find the championship, and he explained his situation with Wardlow, because he was mad at Wardlow, and now Wardlow is mad at him and trying to be like, I'm bigger than you, I can beat you up, so don't talk to me like that. But then even putting Wardlow in his place, because Wardlow knows that MJF is smart and MJF will get to the championship. He is somebody to follow, even if he didn't win his campaign. It just seems basic. So, okay, totally cuts a promo for FTR. It's a celebration for the tag team championships. You got all the other tag teams outside. He makes fun of Chris Daniels for being old, doesn't care about Private Party, and I'm like, seriously, you couldn't have wrote a better joke for busting on Private Party, just being like, we don't care about them. No, that's not good enough. You're on national television. Luchasaurus and the boys come in. FTR throw paper towels in the dinosaur's face. But why? Marco Stunt drops ice on FTR. They're offended. And then the wrestlers eat cake. Wow. Darby Allin limps out? No, it's actually Ricky Starks dressed like him again. He's got little sad faces. He's got the... he's like, I can't skateboard with my friends. Ugh. So I like that. That was funny. Man, Ricky Starks, dude, he is awesome. And he says, I'm going to beat up Ricky Starks when he comes back. So he's like a bully, too. It's just great. It's funny. Now we got Tate Conte taking on Nyla Rose with Vicky. I like that they signed Tay. I really like her. And Beast Bomb, but Nyla Rose wins. I know people are going to say, oh man, they're just jobbing her out and stuff. I don't really see it like that. I mean, of course Nyla Rose was going to win. Would you rather her not be on television? And they don't do squash matches like they do in WWE. They actually have a showcase. So that's good. Nyla Rose tries to do the post-match beatdown, but Shida comes down to save. So why did they wait? Why did they just skip a whole month of build to just go right back to the Nyla Rose storyline? Am I missing something? Why didn't they go into the pay-per-view with Nyla Rose and Shida? Because they could get the NWA champion and they knew that would be a good match? What? You're just going to stop your storyline just so you can have a cool match on pay-per-view? What? What? I mean, if you were going to do that, couldn't you just have like a triple threat or something? I just don't even understand. Okay, so Omega's interviewed by JR. And he's like, yeah, I lost and that sucks. But he's doing what he meant to do. And, you know, he felt like he kind of lost his way as a singles guy. But now he's with Adam Page. And he's like, you know, what's next? JR reads the match card wrong. So I'm sure people are going to be mad about it on Twitter. Okay. The commentators let us know that we don't know when the next Dynamite episode is. It could be Wednesday. It could be Thursday, but we don't know because the NBA. So that sucks, but at least they're not getting kicked off the network is all I can say about that. We got Dustin Rhodes versus Brodie Lee in the main event. It's for the TNT Championship. Dustin jumps the gun. They fight in the crowd. Brodie gets backdropped on a table, but it doesn't break. My goodness, tables, man. These tables are just... Sometimes they're hard as a brick, and sometimes they break instantly. John Silver jumps in, pile driver on Brodie. He gets a handful of the rope, so he is not beat here. But the straps come down, and boy, when the straps come down, that's when things really get serious. So they get face to face, trading fists, old school. Brodie, he rips his pants right in the crotch, which that is not good. Big discus lariat. Brodie gets the pin. Dark Order comes down with a lifeless QT Marshall. But why? And Colt gets shunned by Brodie Lee, so he's still shunning this man. So, I mean, give the guy a break, you know. He's doing everything he can. He's doing the best that he can. Isn't he? Isn't he? I think that he is. Oh, my gosh. It's so ridiculous. But then Dustin gets kicked right in the balls. And if you have balls, you would know that it hurts so bad. And it looked painful. It made me cringe. I said, oh. Yeah, and we got breaking news. Cuts to a promo, and Cody's here to let us know that the most extreme. And I'm like, hold up. But no, it's the Go Big Show, and I thought this was a joke, goofing on the Raw Underground. It took me a good 30 seconds to realize this was a real thing, where $100,000 could be won. There's going to be Cody Rhodes, Snoop Dogg. It's coming to TBS. It's coming soon. It's a new show for you to watch. And yeah, I'm going to have to grab that clip of Cody Rhodes saying, the most extreme. Because I was like, boy, if he says that, cease and desist from Chronics of the most extreme wrestling.